Lawyers, they're expensive. We know that. Lawyers' fees can run into thousands upon thousands of dollars. But what happens when a lawyer represents him or herself in a case, is successful? Does that lawyer get lawyer's fees? Well, that brings us to this week's case. It involves a man, a lawyer. He's practicing. IRS said, "You owe us money." He said, "I don't owe you money. I paid all my taxes." Well, in order to deal with that tax lien, what he did, and this is a very common thing that's done, he declared bankruptcy, because then the IRS has to come into bankruptcy court and prove their case. So, went to bankruptcy court, and in bankruptcy court, the man was successful. The lawyer showed that the IRS did not owe all of the money that it was seeking. After the case was over, under the law that applied, the man, the lawyer, applied to the court for attorney's fees. He said, "I was successful, I was a prevailing party. The law provides the prevailing party may obtain attorney's fees." Well, the court looked at that, gave it consideration. The IRS argued, well, wait a second, he was just doing this on his own behalf. He didn't hire a lawyer, and therefore he didn't have any actual out-of-pocket costs. And the court said, yeah, that's right. He had no out-of-pocket costs for attorneys, and therefore he does not get attorney's fees. He said, wait a second, I'm an attorney, I'm licensed to practice. I should be able to get attorney's fees. He appealed it, went up to the appellate court. The appellate court looked at it and said, well, you are an attorney, you did a good job, you won the case. The law does provide that attorney's fees can be awarded, but in this instance, well, you represented yourself. And representing yourself, you didn't have any attorney's fees, and therefore you don't get any attorney's fees in this case. Okay, so what's the point of this? Well, there's an important point, because we saw in this case that a professional who was doing his job did not get paid as a professional, even though the law provided that he would have the opportunity to obtain attorney's fees. Now, this happens in other professions, and this is the point I want to make today. And it also happens when we're dealing with damage to property. Example being, artists. And these kind of cases arise. Somebody who is an artist, who's an established artist, makes his or her living working in art, selling pieces throughout the world. Fire takes place in their studio. Whoom! Burns up a lot of artwork. Artist says, hey, this is what I had here. This is what was destroyed. Can probably produce photographs. A lot of artists take photographs when they complete their pieces and put them in storage prior to selling them. And he said, look, this is all the stuff I've got. So, hey, you need to pay me, insurance company, for this loss. The insurance company argues, well, wait a second. At this point in time, you did not sell any of these pieces. We're willing to pay you for the materials that went into the pieces, the canvas, the paint, the frames, all of that stuff, but we're not willing to pay you for your time because you hadn't sold the pieces. They hadn't acquired value yet. And believe it or not, that logic holds, and that argument holds. And people, such as artists, who maybe make their living creating artwork, if artwork that they create that's in their possession is damaged, it's usually evaluated at only having the value of the materials in the artwork, even though the piece might have sold for tens of thousands of dollars if it had gone onto the marketplace. Same thing can happen with plumbers, electricians, and other people who do work on their own property. They're not going to be reimbursed for the true value of that because they're doing work on their own property. Or if they're doing things for speculation, an artist who produces pieces and doesn't know whether they're going to sell, doesn't have actual appreciation in those pieces that's recognized by the marketplace until he sells them. Therefore, he only gets what the value of those materials are that are in the artwork. Okay, want to bring you this case this week, a little bit of a different situation, so you understand how the law works, so you can use the law for yourself. I'm David Allen.